Brodes Media.
Yo, what is going on, everybody? So the Phils lose game 2 in Cinci. Not going to crush them. They've been doing a hell of a job lately. I'm not going to react after this one game and act like the sky is falling. Although, yeah, I'm with you. Ranger Suarez having a 6+ ERA in his last handful of starts isn't good. I don't know if part of me knew that this is the Ranger Suarez experience, so I was prepared. I was ready for it. I was almost waiting for it. So now that it's happening, I'm not in rage mode because I've watched Ranger Suarez for years, and this is a consistent trend. When I discussed my let's just see where this takes us mentality, there was a description of who this team is already set as the foundation. That was part of it. So when I see it, it's just par for the course, if you will. I would have liked to see the offense explode more. I thought it was, the 6th inning when you had 2nd and 3rd with Kyle Schwarber up, that we had a chance to steal this game. And actually, when Trey Turner just missed the home run. Because at that point, you would have been right back into the dogfight. But unfortunately, you come up with the goose egg, and then Ranger Suarez, after already battling bases loaded, getting out of the traffic jam, well, it's deflating when you think you're going to score runs, when you think you're going to get something on the board, and you don't with Kyle up. The 5th into the 6th, that transitional period is where the game was lost. After that, you had the wonky rain delay. You come back. Truth be told, I got in the shower and I missed the Bryce Harper home run. Didn't even anticipate seeing a run till I checked my phone and I went, oh, okay, Bryce went yard. But it was just blah after that rain delay. And you chalk it up to one of those. And it's really less about this game. And it's more about what tomorrow tells us about this game. This game, I got to see them take the field tomorrow. And then it's either a couple of rough ones in a row after winning 4 straight and you drop a series on the road that kills a little bit of the fun. Or it's, hey, another series win. And what happened on Tuesday night, it was just a bad combination and a flat miss. The mix was flat, and it was a straight-up miss. Ranger Suarez, not strong whatsoever. And then your offense, not there. Let me know how many baseball games you win when your starter gets punched in the dick and when your offense can't do dick. You don't do a damn thing, unfortunately. Did Ranger get squeezed? Yes, he did. He should have been out of the inning. Then there was a couple of RBIs. But here's the thing. 1, don't let it bother you. Get the out anyway. 2, I thought Max Kepler probably should have made the catch. Would it have been a difficult catch? Yeah. It's not just a standard get underneath of it type job. Would it have been a really cool catch if he done it? Yeah, sure. But a makeable and doable one. Make the catch. And Ranger probably showed the most emotion I've ever seen out of him. And I think it's because it's settling in for him as well that this is going to happen. There's no beating around the bush. It wasn't just soft contact and, hey, Rangers willing to allow the other team to get some grounders here and there. They happen to find the middle of the field. They happen to squeeze by somebody's glove. This was exactly how I feel when Jesus Luzardo is getting carved up and it's squared up, which is not normally what I think of a Ranger Suarez tougher effort. But it fell into that category tonight. I think he knows. It's supposed to be about the poise, the calmness, the Rob Thompson-like energy. That's Ranger on the bump. He's barking. He's trying to get a new ball. I don't know if someone wasn't paying attention or if he was just mumbling and disgust because he was angry with himself for certain pitches or mad at the blue behind the plate, but he was aggravated then, and you could see it in his facial expressions. I don't think I've ever seen Ranger Suarez like that, ever. So it was pretty eye-opening to see. That's the first sign of cracking, even in other years. When it wasn't lovely, I don't remember seeing that. And I get it. If you get a strike three call with 2 outs, it shouldn't be human error. And you should be out of the inning. And the other team doesn't punch up a couple of runs. But right now, they don't have the technology in place. A lot of pitchers get boned and screwed. Don't give up the hit. It's a disgusting call. It's an awful call. It's an embarrassment that inning continued. But there really is no other alternative other than handle your business anyway. What else can I demand Ranger Suarez to do? You know the narrative about you. You know it's going to start to get loud if you fail. So shut the noise down before it even gets active. Instead, square it up, square it up, square it up. What else do we got here? Got out of the bases loaded that I mentioned, but hit hard right after. I think maybe he was sitting on the bench thinking the offense is finally here. Sure, again, on a second consecutive night, there are starters out here throwing perfect games through a handful of innings, but eventually we'll get a nuke. We'll get a couple of doubles and string them in a row to score a run, and then the life and the momentum will be in your favor. But after you had second and third, and also getting out of bases loaded, you think it's right there for the taking. And when it doesn't succeed, then Ranger gets tattooed. And it all slipped right away. One thing that I am not appreciating, by the way, is, yo, Cincinnati, go fuck off. Go fuck off. You think it's just ironic and then being good people to have certain someones throw out the first pitch? They're trying to steal our guy. Imagine you're at the bar, okay? And you're with an absolute smoke show of a woman. And you're buying drinks all night. You're having a good time. You guys exchange numbers. You can feel one another's energy. It's going in a good place. And then here comes someone else with an open bar tab and says, oh, what are you drinking here on? Oh, okay, you got a little bit of... Hey, 2 cranberry vodkas for her and her friend. Scoops right on in, steals your ladies, goes home with them. Come on, man, that should be you. That's the Cincinnati Reds. And yes, you can think they're not going to pay somebody. You can think that they're not going to throw out the big bucks and open up their checkbook and go after a Kyle. But there's a few things here. His hometown, there's always that connection and relationship. And I'm not saying he'd go take less money because he's going to hit the open market and get paid a fat bag. But if they are willing to bring someone, they don't pay a lot of guys. But if there is to be a guy to bring in that could bring some juice, that could bring jersey sales, that could bring excitement with the current state of some of the other players on the roster, I'm looking at it from maybe the way they can sell it to themselves if your ownership with Cincinnati, knowing they're not a big market team. This guy makes sense. Joey Votto stayed there. Did he not? He stayed there. There was a reason why. There's always a guy that can connect to a market like that. Kyle Schwarber falls into that category as long as the Reds push certain buttons and it's clear they're flirting. Enough with the nonsense. Please, no. This is all set up and methodical. Cincinnati's planting the seed. You know, it could be one of those things where the bar scene I just laid out, picture this. You're down the shore for the summer. And it's Memorial Day weekend. It's the first weekend. Everybody's there. They're just planting the seed. They know they'll be back. Those girls, whatever, we'll plant the seed. We'll get him a drink this week. We'll see him next weekend, and maybe we could go to the beach one day and start something off. Get out of my face, Cincinnati. Take that money, go spend it anywhere else. You want Boom? I'll give you Boom. You want to work something out for Boom? Go ahead, you can have Boom. By the way, Aaron Nola with 11 Ks. Down with Lehigh. It's about time to get our workhorse back. It's about time to get Aaron I'm fucking phenomenal Nola back. Now, I saw this tweet. And all jokes aside, I wonder if this has anything to do with where Ranger is and Zach Wheeler is physically. So, Scott Seidenberg of sports betting, he's a sports betting host on... I'm not sure exactly what platform, so I apologize. But he tweeted this out. Rough week or so for some of the best pitchers in baseball. Scooble, 4 runs allowed last Friday. Eovaldi, 5 runs allowed yesterday. Crochet, 5 runs allowed yesterday. Skeens, 4 runs allowed yesterday. So I quote tweeted it and said, maybe it's just normal. Maybe Zach Wheeler going through it. He talked about it the last time he hit the media. There's a cycle. And he feels good. After that last start, he feels like his body's in good shape and he's feeling comfortable and he's just got to work himself out of this. Maybe it's just that natural time of the year. Hashtag always positive, never emotional Brodes. The issue with Ranger is he can never get to the elite Cy Young again consistently after he breaks. That's what separates you. There's going to be times where you feel it. There will be time where you are fatigued, okay? Where you are deprived and you need some more juice somehow. But the elites, it doesn't linger. Every single year, every single back half, you eventually carry your team to a World Series as an ace, Zach Wheeler. You find yourself in the Cy Young race again because of your dominance, Zach Wheeler. So you can talk me more into the Wheeler thing, although I am scared, but that's just because by nature, anytime we're talking about a pitcher with such a heavy velo dip and all the playoff performances and nods that he has had over the last 3 years combined, he's getting up there in age. It could just be natural and organic. So I am scared a bit. Again, Ranger, totally different age, totally different workload, totally different way of pitching. So it's not apples to apples. I'm more willing to be talked into Wheels will be fine because he's Zach Wheeler. Ranger, I don't know. I need Aaron Nola back. Just so I can take a few deep breaths at night thinking about one of my top dogs. I also think about Emilio Cigars every single day because it's the best cigar to ever touch my lips, and I love it. I love it so much. And if you have not tried an Emilio cigar, then you are a fool. And you must join the family, the party. I almost said the farty. Don't know what that is, but I know an Emilio cigar is the only cigar to smoke. I got this fresh box right here. I haven't opened it yet. I showed this on last episode's pod. I got a bunch of boxes to my right here to continue to go through, but I love their artwork. It's so outrageously good, and I think it reflects the awesome, incredible taste. When I tell you it changed my life to switch to Emilio cigars, I mean it. If I'm going golfing with the boys, Emilio cigars are coming with me. If I'm hanging out after a Phillies game in my backyard, an Emilio cigar is coming with me. If I'm going to my wife's uncle's house and we're having a family party and we're hanging out by the pool and we're relaxing, playing cornhole, an Emilio cigar is coming with me. And it got to the point now where my family and friends, they're like, Brodes, I don't even got to ask the group chat anymore if they're coming. I just sit here and wait for you because I can't wait to kick it and enjoy them. I said, I know, I feel you. I really do feel you. So if you're a cigar smoker and you enjoy cigars, I'm telling you right now to give Emilio cigars a whirl and you will be stunned. You will be in disbelief. You will enjoy every second. Use the code BRODES10 for 10% off your purchase. Click the link down below in the description and join the family today. Should I take a couple of anytime hotline calls, I guess? All right, let's do it. Let's start things off with Malcolm in Georgia.
Hey, Brodes. Malcolm from Georgia. A little hiccup tonight, but I think the main thing is we need to be concerned about Ranger Suarez. I have to be honest. I was in the camp where at the end of the year, I thought it wise to not sign Schwarber and sign Ranger, but it's been pretty consistent now for I guess the last 3 years that in the second half of the season he disappears. So something is wrong there. And now I'm starting to think that it's a must that we sign Schwarber. Also, Castellanos has got to go. I don't know if Rob's got the bigger ball sacks than Castellanos to sit him, but we need to put Bader in there if you're going to use a right-handed back.
I do want Bader. I apologize for cutting you off there, but I do want Bader to be in the lineup. When I see the lineup card every day, and obviously with all the changing and flip-flopping, there's a lot of focus and a lot of, eyeballs on how Rob Thompson's aligning things every single day. And the fact that Bader is not in center field as an outfield help acquisition and someone who can rob home runs and does have a decent bat. It doesn't overwhelm me by any means, but it is manageable. It is serviceable. It's good enough where it could be planted in the back later half of your lineup on a day-to-day basis. So what are we doing here? I hate that. I really do hate that. The Ranger thing, it has been all the time. It has been every single season. He just flat out falls right on his face. He trips all over himself. He just doesn't have the ability to carry the workload the way that a super special star would. It's what it is. He shows when his arm is before 100 innings on the season, top of the rotation, nasty stuff. But it can only get you so far if this is the rest of the way. And that's what it's been. And it sucks because he's almost giving you a tease of what the best version of Ranger Suarez can be. And what that is Cy Young caliber. And that's why it hits hard when he fails to reach that peak. Because then, think about where this organization is and where they're set up. But he's very far from it. And it's difficult and hard to do. That's why when you have a Wheels, when you have a true number one star ace, you don't let him go. And you relish in every start they have. And you accept it with this googly eye of joy. And you know the next 2.5 hours, whenever it's first pitch, will be electric. Every Zach Wheeler day hits different. There's a reason why. They don't grow on trees. But Ranger is so close, yet so far away at the same time. Now, on your point to Kyle Schwarber, yeah, they need Kyle Schwarber. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. When we enter the offseason, there's a few things I'm going to say. One will be all about Dave Dombrowski's future, depending on how the playoffs go. Two would be Kyle Schwarber is a must, and it's organizational malpractice to have somebody like that leave the organization. It truly is. And number three is, and Malcolm brought this up too, Nick Castellanos. It's not now that it's going to happen, but he must be moved on from with 1 year left remaining on his contract. He must be traded. Those are three things that I'm totally going to be monitoring and speaking about nonstop in the offseason. Bohm is another wrinkle too. We'll get into all that, but I'm just letting it marinate so you can get prepared for it. Nick today went 1 for 4. He had a single in the 5th. Turner, 1 for 4. Thought it was going to be the homer in the 6th. Kyle Schwarber, 0 for. Edmundo Sosa, 0 for. Brandon Marsh with a couple of Ks. He went 0 for 3. But 10 hits allowed for Ranger Suarez. 5 1/3 innings pitched, 6 earned, 2 walks, 92 pitches. And how about how efficient and effective he was in the first handful of innings? You thought, is this guy going to even reach 60 pitches today? That changed real quickly. Let's go to Amadeo.
We have a Ranger Suarez problem. We really do. And I feel like that's been more of the reason or more of the answer that we figured out from Ranger over the past couple of weeks, basically since the All-Star break. It's just the same thing with Ranger that we always say every season. He can't pitch deep in the season. And this is the perfect example of that. Like, he gets off to this, like, immensely hot start where he's pitching very good in the first couple of months, and then just suddenly he hit the wall. And it's really been bad for a little bit here. Like, he just cannot find that velocity again. And granted, he's not a flamethrower, but definitely if you're throwing 93, 94, 95, throwing around 90, 91, 92, and sometimes 89 is definitely a major difference for a guy that needs to throw with precision as much as Ranger does. And now he's like very succumbed to the blow-up inning, like a lot of Philly starters are. He's just taken that mantle at this point. And like he has a first couple of good innings, but then once he gets around second time through the order, he just implodes. And especially on nights when your offense, obviously where it was tonight, you need your starter to be very good and keep you involved in the game. Taijuan Walker did that last night. Ranger Suarez just has not been able to do that lately, and for a little bit here. And with all of this and just so many patterns with Ranger over the past few years, going into his contract season, person to God, I really don't want to extend Ranger Suarez at this point.
Well, my argument would be then maybe it's cheaper. And if it comes at the right price, then I still value what he could bring to the table in a way. It's got to be the right price, but you can survive with Ranger Suarez being a part of your rotation if the money is aligned with the production that you get. So you could say you don't want him, but I don't want him for what you think he's going to get in the market, which he may still get. And then at that point, go ahead. You're just not worth that money. And another team is either very desperate or they're willing to take that risk and think that they could figure something out with your arm fatigue and your dead arm and get your velocity to a decent spot. Because you're right. I mean, with precision being the focus, I'm watching him throw some pitches that are catching, outside part-ish of the plate. But when it's not the lethal Ranger, they can go ahead, throw their barrel out against it and go the other way with a decent bloop to right field, and it's just not the same. And I guess that would be my debate in a conversation here, but I'm not like sold on I need to bring him back. It's just a thought when you think about how you can use this against him in a way. It's a shitty thing because then it means he's not as good of a player as you can have, but I don't know, for whatever that's worth. What else did you say? Oh, I thought this is not relevant to what Amadeo was mentioning, but it was something that popped into my head as he was speaking, and that was seeing some fans mad at Topper for, again, when guys started to warm up, and it was clear Ranger didn't have it. I think there are times when it's not about winning that game anymore, and I don't know. I mean, the Joe Rosses of the world, it doesn't matter to me if you use them anyway, so I don't care if Ranger gets pulled out and Joe Ross is in, because at that point, you're pulling Ranger so early that you can't go to your stars in the bullpen, right? So something went wrong, and Joe Ross, if he's who Joe Ross is, then he's probably just as bad as Ranger as it is, so it's not much of a difference. But like tonight didn't bother me on being quick on his feet. See, the thing is, there are times in the regular season where you're not managing if this was game 3 in the NLDS. Like, if that was the NLDS, Ranger Suarez is in that game. He's just not. Right? Ranger Suarez would not be as deep into that game in that inning when you got mad that Rob wasn't pushing a certain button yet, warming guys up. Like, that is a different style of managing. In an NLDS in game 5 and game 4 and game 3, it's not that. That's the only way I can put it. I don't anticipate Rob Thompson just not thinking about it in that particular moment. Here he goes, it's August 12th. See what we got here. What's the alternative? Joe Ross? And truth be told, Joe Ross should have had allowed 2 homers. Brandon Marsh made a nice catch, and then there was a nice catch to end the inning as well, but 2 balls that were as smoked can be without actually going over the wall. So, yeah, doesn't bother me. I don't think that relates to how Rob's going to elect to move in the playoffs. We'll end things with Zach here.
Well, that was a forgettable baseball game. Ranger Suarez is a real concern at this point. He can't be starting. He cannot be making starts. He's got to be moved to the bullpen. He's just not made for it physically. And you can't re-sign him. But, that's a story for another day. And I'm not giving the offense a pass. I'm not blaming it all on Ranger, because at some point you're going to have to get out to a lead. You can't just keep hoping you're going to come back, So, yeah, there's that. I think the thing I heard was maybe go to 6-man rotation, right? If you're not going to put Ranger in the bullpen right away. Give Wheels, and I know he doesn't like it, and I know Nola probably doesn't like it either, but it would certainly benefit Zach Wheeler to have an extra day off in between starts.
I'm cool with that. Oh, I'm totally cool with that. And I do think there is a negative that happens when you go that route with that extra day, just because you're so used to one schedule and one a style and one way to sort of attack with your body throughout the days that you're not pitching. But when you're this beat up and when you're this broken down, then it's what you have to do to try and maximize and preserve your body currently. But yeah, if Ranger doesn't start, right now it's Wheels, Nola, Sanchez, and then I don't really trust Jesus Luzardo. He gets one guy on base, and then he absolutely forgets what to do, but then that also knocks him out of a possible bullpen role because, God forbid, it's the 6th inning or so in a 1-run game, and you got to go to him, and that's what so I don't know what the usage would be. Maybe you could do a backpack thing with Ranger being your fourth, because who would be your 4th starter? You got Wheels, Nola, Sanchez, and then right now you got Luzardo, Ranger, Taiwan. Could you do a Ranger, Taiwan back-to-back backpack? I don't know. That's a little scary too, but I wonder if that's something you can do. Or if you just put Ranger in the pen so you can use him consistently and maybe a couple of days in a row instead of using 2 guys as a backpack in the rotation, then you got to figure out Luzardo or Taiwan. The Andrew Painter disaster is unfortunately hurting you because now you don't really have him as an option. I'm just speaking out loud here. I've always been down with Ranger going into the pen because of his calmness and his poise. But I never seen him actually crack the way that he did on the mound either. So with it being a prove-it year on the last year of his deal kind of thing, and him looking this sour and this negative and not his sharpest, is that taking a toll on his mental? I mean, I would definitely make it worth a shot. I think that hurts the rotation side of things. But it makes your bullpen stronger. But now with Duran and Kerkering and Strom and David Robertson, that desire to need Ranger to do it, am I there? Is there a way to maximize his greatness in the rotation, but it just won't be the same leash as Wheeler and Nola and Sanchez? Can he go 3 innings and then ask someone to go 2? Is that a way to do it? Can you try and get 4 innings out of him of 1 earned run ball? And then you go to Taiwan for, oh God, that sounded horrible. Somebody for 2 innings. I don't love what I'm saying at all. I'm actually sick to my stomach. Just talking out loud. I always talk out loud about the greatness of my lawn, and that's because Green Lawn Fertilizing, they're the best in the market. They are experts in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Delaware, and so knowledgeable. They've created their own custom blend that has your lawn recovering. It's so awesome to admire the treatments that they have, and they educate you on exactly what the treatments are going to do, the timelines for each treatment, how you're going to watch the steps right in front of your eyes. Just do its work, do its magic, and eventually you'll have the most beautiful lawn in the entire neighborhood. And that's a big deal. I'm telling you, coming from a homeowner, coming from a father of two now, the lawns, that's what you talk about when you're at the mailbox with the neighbors. Hey, Judge, oh, yeah, you see, look at this. Lawns. And if my lawn was still hideous and wasn't getting taken care of and a bunch of dirt, I'd be vomiting every single time I walked into my house. And that's not good. And you need to join me and join Green Lawn Fertilizing. And what if I told you you can get 50% off your first 2 treatments? That is correct, my friends. 50% off your first 2 treatments. All you got to do is check out the link and information down below. It'll tell them that Brodes sent you. It's a no-brainer. Can't wait to hear about it. Can't wait to see your pictures as well. With that, you guys are the best. I love you. We'll talk on the next one.